into my world.
The world of
Insomnia.
Ladies and gentlemen,
DJ Chris Oblivion.
Hi John, and thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us. You are one of the most respected artists here on Life 892 Radio, and it is an honor having you on air. So, let's start this interview with a typical question. Who is John Fleming? How long is he in the business? And what motivated you to start getting involved with electronic dance music?
Hi Chris, good to speak to you again. I miss you over there. So how long have I been in this industry, and who is Mr. John Fleming? I've been in 25 years now, I think it is, maybe a bit longer than that, but I started very young when I was 15. So I kind of got into it when I was at school, and this is pretty much just all I've done in my career. I kind of flirted with wanting to be a car designer, and but what made me want to get involved with electronic dance music is really easy to answer that question. Is I didn't want to work for a living, but music to me is a hobby, and it's now a hobby that I've made a career of, and I'm thankful of that every day, and it's a real honour to be working with something I love doing every single day.
Okay, now let's give the people an idea of your musical identity. Would you consider yourself as a psytrance artist or something else? I mean, although I know that you are all over the trance genre, there has to be a favorite style of yours.
It's really difficult to pigeonhole what I play, because the boundaries and the rules just constantly change. I mean, you know, what we call electro in today's world is completely different what it was in the 80s, and it's a completely different style. Like the original electro was like kind of a breaks, and now it's a 4/4 beat. But I got involved with trance right at the very beginning, the birth of trance in the very early 90s, and I seem to have followed that path ever since I found trance. I just love what trance music is all about. But kind of like my electro analysis, what trance is today and what trance was is completely two different things. I think I famously said on BBC Radio 1, trance has got lost in translation over the years, and it certainly has. I mean, what I call today trance is Eurodance, it's pop music, and it's got nothing to do with the ethos of what trance was all about 10 years ago. But I'll never let go of that trance tag, and I don't think I am a psytrance DJ, though I do play a lot of elements of psytrance. I dip into that world quite a lot, but again, psytrance is again lost in translation. You know, what are all these genres? It's really difficult, but I just play pure underground trance. That's probably the best way to sum things up.
That's great. How would you describe your album 9 Lives, which I consider as the album of the year? Where did you get your inspiration for this project, and what does the title stand for? I know that it is not just a title chosen by luck. That's not you.
Oh, Chris, that's very kind of you saying that. I'm going to give you a big hug. I mean, I think people have lost what albums were about. I mean, it used to make your single, and that was like your calling card to say, hey, this is me, this is what my usual sound's all about. But then, you know, albums were those more experimental moments, and, you know, history, that's always happened with, you know, bands and various artists around the world. But in the electronic dance scene, it just seems to be a big show-off tour. It's like a big promotional tour these days. You're just trying to put as many big, huge hit records on there, just in order to promote the artist more. And, you know, I think that's really got forgotten about what the ethos of an artist's album should be about. And that's how I approach my album. I've been a bit more experimental on there. I've, you know, shown the skills of being a producer. There was no rules or boundaries when I fired up the studio. I just made what was coming from my heart, and you'll hear all the different styles on the album. And I didn't want people flicking through the album if you're starting from track 1 all the way to the end. You know, just it's a whole little journey going through there, and hopefully I've achieved that from the reaction so far. People seem to like it.
we are getting deeper in this interview, so let's start the most interesting part. So, what do you think about the trance scene today? Is the sound getting cheaper and the new tunes last less than the old ones? Or there is a scene that most of the people have not discovered yet?
Yes, down to the nitty-gritty. It's hard to say it's getting cheaper, or the general trance scene has completely changed of what it was 10 years ago. I mean, before, artists would make music or DJ because they had love and passion for what they did, and it was them expressing what they were doing musically. That's what things were all about. And we seem to have a bigger, more specialist kind of underground world where we could do that. But today, I think many things have changed, including the internet, where people just seem to be picking, trance because it's a fashionable music genre and milking it for what they can. They're getting into the scene from the off to be famous. That's all they want, to be rich, famous, and be a celebrity. And it's the same as happened kind of in the house world as well. And everything's been forgotten about the music, the main thing. What people are just doing this just to fast track their careers and be famous. And it's really uncomfortable me saying this and me sitting in this scene, but hey, what happens? History shows these things do happen. These cycles of commercialism do fuel an underground scene, so there is a benefit at the end of this, and we're kind of seeing this starting to happen now.
There are some people who produce trance music, and I believe that their sound is different, more musical, I can say, like Airwave, Digital Blonde, Christopher Lawrence, and of course you. All these guys come from the past with a huge success on their back. Is there a big comeback of the good old trance sound?
Yeah, I really hope the scene changes. I mean, like what I said earlier, the commercial explosion does seem to fuel an underground scene, and I think there's many thousands of producers out there who get sucked into thinking that they have to make big tracks that these huge DJs will play on the radio show, and when this happens, this magical moment of you get fast-tracked into the public eye and your career takes off happens. 5-6 years later of doing that, they realise that doesn't happen. Yes, you get your track played, you sit there all excited, and the gigs don't come in. And after that long time of doing that, you realise it's not working, something's wrong. And many producers have actually come to my record label who used to make more commercial music, and they said, hey, well, look, this is what I really love, this is what I truly love, and they've given me some phenomenal tracks, and I've signed them straight away, and they're getting a lot of attention. And I think this is the moment in the trance world that it's got really stale for the last 12 years easily. It's been the same format, the same arpeggiators, the same big euphoric build-up, the cheesy vocals, and there's only so long people can take this, and a lot of people are just fed up and just saying, right, we want to do something that we really believe in. And this includes producers, promoters, DJs. There's a lot of people moving forward, taking a new route now, and I really think it is the more serious underground route.
Oh, that was nice. That's interesting. Let's talk about your events. I am sure that your live appearances are a great place to test new sounds, the new idea and the difference in trance sound. How do people react to what you offer to them?
Well, I started my own events, JOOF Editions, just purely for my frustration of the trance scene not seem to be moving forward. And many of the gigs I was playing, it was the wrong crowd. So I'm trying to play like a more serious set, more underground set, be more experimental when I'm playing my tracks, and the crowd didn't get it. And they just wanted the usual, what they think is trance, the euphoric stuff, the big breakdowns, etc. And I was doing the complete opposite. So we started off this concept, and we experimented at a few clubs, and man, we were so shocked with the reaction and the turnout. These people just came out the woodwork embracing us, saying, we've been dying for something like this. We haven't been to a trance night for a long time, because it's what I've been speaking about, just the usual commercial format. But here it was the night was professionally programmed. It was a big sound system, but it was all focused around the music and not the DJ. And I was personally programming the whole night from start to finish. So musically, it was this perfect curve. And I was introducing new talent, you know, perhaps even some existing talent that would never ever get a chance to see in their own country. And we were bringing them over, and they were like, wow, we dreamt of seeing this guy for a long time, but no one else has brought them over. And it's been a huge success, and it's growing and growing, and promoters are getting wind of it all around the world, and we're doing yet more tours. And you know, next year is looking to be a very strong year for JOOF editions, and hopefully we'll bring it back to Greece for you.
Let's hope so. Now a question everybody wants to know about. Which is the best way for an upcoming artist or DJ to advertise himself without submitting a large amount of money to specific managers or flooding the social networks or going mainstream or anything like that?
I mean, that's such a difficult question to answer these days because social networking and the IT world has changed the way the scene works. Beforehand, I would have said, you know, make something unique. I mean, it still applies, you know, follow your own sound, follow your own love and passion. But this day and age, with these clever IT people, it is about these guys. You need a clever IT person behind you to hit the social networks like mad, and that's what's happened in the last few years. Is DJs have built careers off IT. It's not the music now, and it would be dishonest of me to say, oh yeah, you know, just concentrate on making these underground tracks, but it's a really horrible kind of cheating way which has broke a lot of careers, and I think people need to be aware of this and don't get suckered into it. I mean, the sooner people, i.e. clubbers, start supporting great talent, proper DJs, proper producers, that's going to fuel the underground scene even more. Forget all of the hype and the IT and the glamorous things they do with their webs and, you know, newsletters, etc. We need more people supporting, you know, the more specialist scene. I think hopefully that'll happen. There seems to be a lot of hunger for it. So, I mean, so I'd say get an IT person behind you. But do also not forget about making something very different, something unique in the studio as well, and DJing as well.
Nice. Whom do you consider as the best upcoming artist or artists or DJ in trance music generally, and why?
Oh, it's just really unfair to mention just one or even a few. I think the best up and coming ones are the ones that you hunt and find. Dig deep in the record shops like Beatport, and you know, wherever your favourite shop is, and dig deep and find those guys. The more you research and find them, those magic surprises are the best ones. I really think it's unfair to mention one, because there's so many great producers out there, and DJs also. I mean, importantly, on your own turf, you know, at home in your own city. History shows scenes have been grown on your front doorstep, and you know, in Athens there, speaking to you, I know there's so many genius talents there, and you need to start supporting those guys. Find them locally, support the nights that they do, because that's going to support your nights that you go out to. You know, probably a lot of people moan, no matter what city you're in, they say, oh, we got nowhere to go, there's nowhere for good trance, nowhere for this. There is. It's right in front of you, and it's the local guys. There's a lot of guys out there spend hours finding music, making DJ sets, practicing. They're trying desperately to put their own nights on. No one's going to support them, but you have no idea that you should support them, and you're going to get one hell of a great night by going to one of their events. Forget the celebrity thing, because eventually your scene will grow and grow, and then you'll have a wonderful night of local people and wonderful music.
You run JOOF Records, a very well-respected label with numerous quality releases. I am sure that you must be receiving tons of demos every month. What criteria does a track have to match to be released on JOOF Recordings?
Mate, you have no idea how much music I get. Every day, I'm not kidding, it's about 50 promos, and that's per week. We really struggle to go through them, and I promise we go through every single one of them, and sometimes it takes us a month to go through them. It takes a lot of work, but It's worth it because I found some amazing producers because of that. And that's what makes me look at every single one, because I wouldn't have found some of the great guys that I have on board JOOF Recordings team now if I didn't spend that time and listen to every single demo. So you just got to be persistent. Do send me demos. I mean, not just my label, but all labels. I think it's important that you need to research what label your music would fit, because the amount of tracks that I get, it's just obviously it would not fit on JOOF, but they're just sending me the track anyway. And that's really frustrating from this side. But if you pinpoint the exact label and they want to release your music, then you're halfway there. But just be persistent. Try and get some sort of feedback from the label, like I do. If I get a demo and it's not quite there, I'll write back and say, look, you're nearly there, take away this riff, change that, send it back to me, and I think we can talk. And they've done that, and I think that's what's been forgotten about in the dance music industry. It's a job of an A&R. You'll have hands-on, telling the artist what to change, work with them, working on their engineering, their production. And that's why the Digital Blonde and many other artists have been with me for this such amount of time, because we're full on hands-on family. We work together.
What is your general belief of the EDM scene today? Okay, I know that this could be a whole night's conversation, but what is your opinion overall?
Chris, how long have you got? Well, history shows, like I said earlier, we have to go through these musical cycles of commercialism, which helps fuel an underground scene, because when a scene, say if we look at trance, which is my kind of foyer, when it gets so commercial, there's a lot of people like me just get disillusioned, upset, but there's also a lot of people like me that want to keep moving the way forward, and that's exactly what's happening now. And this is exciting times. This is probably about the third wave that I've seen these changes, and if these didn't happen, I would have probably lost interest in the scene a long time, because now I feel changes is happening. I'm finding new music, finding new producers, experimenting with new sounds and new ideas. To me, that gets my mojo going. Seriously, it makes me so excited, finding new styles and a new direction to go in within the trance world. To me, that's what the scene is all about. I've got nothing against commercial guys. They're good at what they do. They follow the easy pop format, but that's their choice. There's nothing wrong with it. There's not one way is better. You have to decide what you want to do. If you can handle the stardom, the fame, if that's what you want, go for it, and do it and do it well. But I'm a music guy. I follow the more specialist scene, and that's what I love. And if you're not feeling what's going on in the commercial world, go and experiment in the underground world. There's a brilliant, wonderful world out there. And it's the opposite. If you're not feeling the underground scene, go over to the commercial scene. If it makes you happy, it makes you happy.
Oh my God. After all these years in the industry, do you feel satisfied with your achievements? Or the fire for more places to conquer still burns?
Oh yeah, I'm happy. If I hung my headphones up right now, I'll be a really happy man of what I've achieved. And look at the long list of compilation albums, singles, clubs that I've played at and festivals around the world. It's phenomenal. Many a person will be envious of me, but I'm still at the peak of my career, and I'm happy. And have I achieved everything? Maybe not. I'm kind of fueled to support the more specialist scene, and that's what I want to do at the moment. And seem to be getting a lot of people coming to me, big players as well. I've had a lot of conversations with people recently who want to follow the same path as me, and we're working together. And that's the beauty of the underground scene, how many of you unite together. The commercial scene is more, it's competition based. You've got enemies around you and you're fighting to be the best. My world is a better world. You're surrounded by good friends you can pick the phone up to constantly. And I'm just loving where I am at the moment. I want to really support this more specialist scene and show people that there is a different take on the electronic scene.
What are your next steps in music? New album, new remixes, new events? What should we expect from you?
Well, it took me a long time to make my artist album this far in my career, and hopefully I'm going to try and get another one done by next year, the same time next year. I've been working really hard in the studio, and I'm actually getting on pretty well to be on target to make another artist album. So we're going to be concentrating on that. Trying to put out a lot more singles as well. I mean, my touring schedule just takes it out of me. I make music myself, you know. I don't have ghostwriters and this team of people behind me, so that's why it takes me a lot longer than others. So yeah, that's my goal, to make more singles and just crack on with my JOOF Editions nights, because I'm enjoying them so much, and you're going to see a lot more extended sets from me as well. I mean, I just announced I'm in Toronto. I'm doing a 6-hour set there soon. I want to do some 8-hour, 10-hour sets. That's what I used to do years ago, and I'm in a happier place doing that.
I'll be looking forward. Okay, John, thank you very much for taking the time to have a chat with me and provide some interesting information for my audience. I hope the best for you personally and generally. Thanks a lot, and hope to see you again soon here in Athens.
Chris, it's been a real pleasure chatting to you as usual. You're a lovely chap, and you've become a lovely friend now. And hope to see you very, very soon over in Athens, and you keep doing what you do and doing it very, very well, and supporting your scene locally over there. Take care now.
Bye-bye.